winter nights don't let me sleep. So this life's always with me. The ice inside my veins will never bleed. Every time you try to fix me, I know you'll never find that missing piece. When you cry until you miss me, I'll lie and tell you that I'll never leave. But I always sacrifice your love for the night. I try to put up a fight, can't hold me down. I don't understand sacrifice for love now. I try, I don't understand sacrifice for love now. My time, love.
All right, guys. What is going on? What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to what is it today? Tuesday. Welcome to Tuesday. Take Profit Tuesday. Take Partial Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Whatever floats your boat, man. Oh, there we go. Whatever floats your boat. Welcome. Appreciate that. I'm glad you guys like the music. It is... I don't even know how to explain that title. D&E Summer Vibes Mix Boosted, but the T is an exclamation mark. Look it up, I guess. Or I'll drop the link later if you ask, but it's bass boosted music, basically. So, what is good? Eric, who was first today, Z, Capitalist, Harmon, Jorks, JP, Mason. I know Mason had a fun day today. Very good, very good. We'll talk about it. What's good? Monkey, Adam, Marshall, Eminem, Big James, Yuso, Marius, Oscar, 2020. Yeah, we love those wizard emojis, right? We love the wizardry. So, you know, one thing I really didn't even notice last night. I wasn't watching or paying attention all that much yesterday evening. So from what I've seen, it looks like, what's good, Natasha? It looks like Trump had tweeted. I did see some clips that I guess he put out this idea that if you burn the American flag that you get a year in jail. So a lot of people were like bitching about that. People are gonna bitch no matter what, but it's, you know, It's always something with people, right? So I guess that explains some of the wildness from yesterday evening, I guess. I don't know. Oh, Trump was talking shit about the Fed chair or chairman. Oh, that's normal. There's nothing abnormal about that at all. What's good, Jordan? That's literally, that's like regular scheduled programming. So despite the gobbledygookness, where did we happen to pause and turn around? At some random place that all the buyers and sellers agreed to, right? Everybody met in a group chat and said, okay, 430, 434, that's where we're going to pause price and then turn on a dime, right? That's what happened. And it absolutely did not trade into a previous gap on the daily, right? You know, nothing is algorithmic. It's all just buying and selling and, you know, randomness. But everybody stopped, right? All the shorts took profit. All the longs went in here, right? Everybody just agreed between those couple of price levels in here. Everybody shook hands and sung Kumbaya. We all agree. Anyway, we left it, traded lower during London, and now we have expanded. This to me is really more of a drift. Honestly, we drifted higher, but we did, like I mentioned in the Discord, as soon as we got that, we did nail those highs. So despite, you know, its finesse, right, and a random low, right, never predictable low, those highs were there. And that is why I was not electing to short. That's why in the Discord I said today I favor longs. I'm favoring longs. And then I forgot what time it was that I had mentioned this, but I was saying, like, we need to see expansion, right? If we don't start seeing that, then we might not, you know, trade higher and we may end up going lower. So NQ was actually my focus today. I think ES was sloppy. You know what I mean? Me personally, I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know, Chief. I don't know. I mean, I like the highs, but it's just the way. I just didn't like it. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. But what I did like was NQ. Right? And at the moment, those lows from lunch, or no, excuse me, damn, that fly, dude, I swear, I shit you not, this fly only comes out when I stream. All day, every day, nothing. And then as soon as I start streaming, this fly's like, all right, I'm gonna go fuck with this guy. I shit you not, dude. It's insane. And a little embarrassing. But anyway, we have late AM session lows here, which I could see those being taken, right? I could see the market coming down for that. I would rather not see that. I would rather us continue higher. Okay. As always, I try to, you know, teach you guys with live price, and I always try to tell you, you know, what I think is going to happen in the second half of the day. I favor long still, but if we come back for those lows, I wouldn't be all that surprised. I wouldn't want that though. Okay, so are we all clear on that? But let's come back to down in here. This is why, to me, like NQ or even like the micro side was so much better to me because of what we got in here. So can you kind of see that difference between NQ and ES today? Like, especially down in here? I know a lot of you in the Discord know, but take a look at this. We got about an hour of straight consolidation, right? A lot of nothingness. Nothing wrong with that, right? So equities opens, right? 830 pops, rallies a little bit, slams lower, 831 continues higher. We retrace, we get back into the consolidation, but we don't take the lows. We take like a very short term, which that's not a run. That's not a sweep either. That's just that it's a sweep of that low, but not everything else. So then we trade higher, right? Higher high, but we've got all that shit down here. So then boom, then we get our run below the consolidation. We extend for that pre-market low. And my favorite part, bro, every time, my favorite part, how did we get there? You gotta look at it. How did we get there, chat? Look at it. That higher high, right? It's really more of a sweep, right? Takes that, rips ass. Did we, Blake, what's good? Did we create anything on the way there? What's good, Scott? Yeah, capitalist. I guess so. Been absent from the last few streams. Yep, blocked. Scott is blocked. How did we do it? How did we do it? We left an imbalance, man. Look at that. We left an imbalance taking sell side. Then we created a imbalance in the opposing direction. That right there is an overlap, my friends. See that? Look at that. I wonder if there's any videos out there, right? Like, I think to myself, I wonder if anybody in the entire internet ever put out this idea that overlapping concepts are high probability. You know? Do y'all know if there's a video like that out there? You know what I mean? I heard there's 48 Laws of Power video, or 48 Laws of Trading video, rather, right? There's a couple of them. There's not just one or two, you know? But, yeah, I heard about this guy. This fucking bald guy who cusses so much. And he talked about that in that video, right? High probability inversion here, overlapping with that one right there after taking sell side. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. See? And we're higher. Now, we are lower here. I would probably put a sell side here. I'd put an alert there. Just, you know, if that happens to come up while we're doing shit. So I tweeted a little bit after that. And I don't have it up. I do now. So I put out this idea a little bit later, of course, because, you know, I'm like actually focused on executions and, you know, shit like that. So high RR isn't a scam. So what do I mean by that? It means when I taught you guys, and we'll probably get more into this at another time. Not today, though, but at another time. What can you tell me, right? If we were to long that first imbalance, right? What are some characteristics, chat? I think the chat is open for members, for non-members, subscribers, basically. So what can you tell me specifically that I taught you, right? A lot of people don't teach this. I did. Okay. Not that that really matters, I guess, but what can you tell me about the first imbalance in a reversal? What are some specifics when it comes to the first imbalance created in a reversal? What can you tell me about it? Or about them, rather? What are some characteristics? What do we expect? We see that first imbalance. We look at it, we go, oh shit, first imbalance in a reversal. What should take place? Or what should not take place? Either one. Mason said the low end should be left open if bullish. Okay. We'll throw that middle line on there. Every concept has a premium and discount. You know this. Or it could be a breakaway, right? It could end up, let's say, trading a little bit higher and then hitting the inversion, leaving that bottom one open, trading into the inversion and then taking off. That is a possibility too. Bullish markets don't give deep retracements, right? Right. Okay. So now let me ask you this, and I'm giving you like context clues here. Mason. Who else? Where do you think the high RR comes from? Because you said it, Mason. If the low end should be left open, right? If the market should not trade to the low end, then where is a possible stop loss? Well, if we trade the high end of it, right? Or the very next candle open, that's fine too. If our stop is at the low end of that imbalance, right? Okay. So let's zoom out for a second, because when we're down here, we're in the 460s, right? Oh, we didn't get the 420 level today. We escaped it one time. Oh, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. We hit that in London. Well, my theory stays true. 420 level can't escape it. Yeah. John, you got some crazy ass fucking theories, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, I do. We got highs up here. We got highs up here. And, you know, if we're swinging for the absolute fences, meaning like just parking lot, bro. If we're trying to go fucking, above and beyond type shit, Buzz Lightyear, okay, then we got way up there. So at a minimum, we could do 520 and maybe like 620, right? So let me go back up here and mark this again. All these in here, and that was the highs on ES that we just looked at. Now that's the highest one, okay? Now we're going to make that blue, 520. We're going to make that blue so we can actually see it on a smaller time frame, okay? Again, which is here. So targeting that level, right, is a 520 is right there, okay? That right there is a 1 to 3.3. If, and again, this is a big if, we target 620, it's just the next, it's a 20 level right after the next buy side, which is way over there. That's a 1 to 9. If we were to hold a runner for 650, And obviously it wouldn't stop there. It'd probably go, 680 or some shit. It wouldn't just stop there. It'd probably be above it to some degree. That's a 1 to 11. 1 to 11. So that's why I was saying high RR is not a scam. Okay, you might think it's a scam. Others might think it's a scam. And guess what? You're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to, everyone is entitled to your own opinion, but you're also entitled to be a fucking dumbass too. You know what I mean? So anyway, I tweeted that. I really wasn't trying to time that at all. 8:57. That's like in the middle of a macro anyway. But we do have a imbalance right there, which we did visit multiple times. And on top of that, this is also the discount end of the open. Right? If we go to regular trading hours, that is our gap. And this is the discount end of it. And we already went below it. See that? Now, I wouldn't have taken that. If I were to take something like that, I absolutely would not have a stop at the low end of that one. Like, I wouldn't do that. Okay, I would absolutely not do that. But if your stop went down here to that low, then yeah, you would still get high RR, aiming for something up there. So low risk, high reward setups. See that? So we had the sell side liquidity. Where did our indicator go? Oh, here it is. Regular trading hours still, that's a gap, right? On that daily time frame. See that? That's what this is. See that right there? And then electronic is a little bit different. Electronic actually has an inversion down here. So I know it's a lot to look at. It's confusing, John. This shit's too fucking hard. Right. Well, you sound like a little bitch. How about you stop complaining and just get with the details? Okay? Get with the details, my friend. That inversion was met way back here already. So look at that order. High time frame, inversion, buy side, buy side. Equities open. Okay, regular trading hours. We got some lows back here. We take that earliest, or not the earliest, but one of the earliest available entries. Low risk, high reward setups. The only problem now, again, is it's 12:27 and we are still like within this range here. So we made a new high of day like 11:15 roughly, and we're back into this range. I want to see expansion. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not always right. I try to be, but I'm not always right. But if you're in from anywhere below an old low, even like below equities or just above it in the discount end, whatever, or even like something in here, it's easier to manage a trade when you're in damn near at the low of day. So you're not too worried. Oh, what if it comes back a couple ticks? Bro, fucking let the trade breathe, dog. Let it breathe. You know what I mean? So, that's what I've been looking at today. Okay. Let's actually come back. So because Mason, right? I know you said there's a new high of day here and you were like, I'm out of it. If we look at that for a second, we can take a look at that too. Now, those highs were not created yet, but we could still use those as an exit, right? They were created later. But again, if you were in on something like that and, you held on, you didn't goober out from that pullback, that new high of day right there, if your exit is on that, right, like one tick into that, that's a 1 to 5. That's pretty solid. I can't deny that. That's pretty solid. I don't know if that was your trade, but I mean, look at that, bro. Buying on the way down, selling on the way up, buying near the low of day, getting out at the current high of day. Like, that's good trading, dude. Like, I don't know why anybody would argue that. It makes no sense to me. So, anyways, you guys have any questions so far about what we talked about? I got some notes for you too. It's not on trading, it's on The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition by Peter Hollins. I wanted to give you a few pointers there, but as far as price action wise, do you guys have any questions? We have not gone into oh, there it is. We have not gone to the daily specifically. The only thing that we've done on the daily is reference some price levels over here, right? So we can tell, okay, that's an inversion here. A normal, you know, imbalance created yesterday. So we have both of those here, which is what we saw in the small time frame too. Price is fractal, right? And then on the smaller time frames, we looked at certain things. So that is where we are at. The inversion, whatever gap that was, I think that was from regular trading hours. And then I keep forgetting this fucking name. It's like the opening range from the close to the open of the regular trading hours. That's the green one, or the, sorry, blue. Does it make sense? So you have to understand, like, the inversion set the low, equities, other, you know, concept at the equities open dropped us, created opportunities, and now we're targeting, you know, higher time frame stuff here. We're combining higher time frame bias with low time frame entries, low risk, high reward setups. Okay. Now, on top of all that, if we go back to regular trading hours, we got so many drawings, like trading views starting to like warp here a little bit. It's just like a lot going on. If you look at it, I'll just actually take this off. I'm gonna take this off too. If you look at it from what I taught you yesterday, well, I mean, it's more of a review of yesterday. You remember this? Remember that? Consolidation, distribution, redistribution, sweep of liquidity, right? Some sort of manipulation, accumulation, reaccumulation, run to the liquidity buildup. Remember that? All right, that's real hard here. We traded higher, original consolidation, distribution. It's a shitty distribution, but whatever. Lower, manipulation. We trade higher. And then you could see how this could be a buy model, right? No, it looks kind of weird, but see that? Now, again, I could be wrong, just like I was the other day on something, saying that we might extend higher, and we didn't, right? I don't always get it right. But that is not the point. The point is, down in here, right, from this morning, you were able to frame trades that are low risk and high reward. You had a new high of day offered. You had, right after the manipulation, you had a new high of day offered. You had these highs in here offered. It even gave you another set of highs, retracement, and then grabbed those highs, right? So you had multiple, at least 3 opportunities to exit any longs or partial any longs on the day. Even if this decides to come back to this sell side, or even make a new low of day. You know what I mean? It still presented multiple opportunities to partial or to close your trade. You see what I'm saying? That's why this morning I said I favored longs. Someone asked about Dow. I said I wouldn't be worried about it. And that's why. And you're right, Mason. Sweep the low, runs to the highs. Over and over and over again. That's what price does. Let me see. Lucas, if you had to choose between only trading lunch and the PM or switch to swing trading, what would you do? That's a good question. Lunch and PM or swing trade? Ugh, that's a shitty choice. That sounds like a false dichotomy for me because I'm not subject to that. I guess if I was, I mean, it depends on what I would be doing. So if it's like a work related thing, I would probably just swing trade. Honestly, look at the stocks we did this year. They're bussing. You know what I mean? Now we can do that in futures too, but contracts expire every couple months, every three months, right? You can still swing trade those, but you got to be careful because swing trading in futures, you really can't take a lot of drawdown because of the leverage, so I'd probably swing trade if that was me. Right, Adam. Well, it's not every day, but in a general sense, in the long term, yes, stocks and usually indices are bullish a lot of the time. That's why when everybody was panicking this year, I was like, yeah, this is fear. This is a great time to buy. And that was the low of the year to the day. That was a Sunday, actually. So that's why that's easy. Buy below the yearly open. How hard is that? I don't have any thoughts on FTMO. I heard they came back to the US. I got like their email. So, I mean, I don't have any thoughts on that. I mean, they're still around. I think they bought Forex.com or they bought somebody. I think they bought a broker. I don't know. But that's the extent of my opinion on that. Okay, so a lot of people keep asking about this whole electronic trading hours, regular trading hours swap. Look, I don't have any videos on this. It doesn't need to be explained, in like an hour, okay? Electronic hours to me is really good to see stuff like London's low or London's high, right? Or even like, let's say pre-market equal lows or equal highs, something to that effect that may want to be taken at equities open, okay? Now, you may not see certain things, right? Like say, for example, our regular trading hours, when we swept Monday's low, right? Today's Tuesday. We swept yesterday's low, hit a higher time frame imbalance, I think, or gap or something. It was something on the higher time frame. You would then see by having that connection from Monday's regular trading hours close to today's open, that continued move lower, then you could see, oh, well, shit, that's starting to look like a market maker buy model in the regular trading hours. Now, on the electronic side, you wouldn't have seen that. You'd have said, oh, yeah, that's consolidation. This was our manipulation. And then, what am I supposed to do with this? It still ran a low, right? Just like a pre-market low here, and doesn't extend for those. So it would be hard for some people maybe to trust that that was manipulation, because they would expect, oh, well, why didn't it trade to that one? Why didn't it go for London's low? Why didn't it go for Asia? I think that's Asia's low. It's like, well, it doesn't have to, because it took yesterday's low here. Okay? And that, it again, it's weird. It's hard to like understand at first, like to wrap your head around it first. Like, why does that low, well, John, I see a candle and all these candles right back here. So that low's already been taken. Well, yeah, it's been taken in the electronic side. So like overnight holders, you know, stuff like that. But it hasn't been taken in regular trading hours, which means it hasn't been taken in like the open market. So stuff like the triple Qs, for example, the triple Qs weren't taken not until equities open, or well, like 8:45, 8:50, right? The first 30 minutes. That's when it got taken. So again, that's weird. People don't see that. You have to cut through that and that and that and that to get to that. And that doesn't make sense to people. We have to cut through all that? Yes. Yes. Because it's not just price, okay? It's not just price. It's time. Time and price. And that flies, you know, over people's head. They don't get it. They're like, "Oh, that's fucking stupid." Well, okay. You can think whatever you want. But again, you're allowed to be wrong too. I'm just here to present information, dog. You can take it, you cannot take it, you could agree, you could disagree. It ain't gonna affect me either way. But that's, you know, that's the reality of it. So I look at both. I want to look at electronic side in case I'm missing something, or, you know, regular trading hours as well. Now, when they're both in alignment, you know, with certain ideas, like say regular trading hours has some highs up here, but electronic side has like London equal highs or something. Okay, well, if we meet London's equal highs, are we going to stop there if we have another set of highs? Probably not. So if you cut your trade at London's highs and then it keeps going, you know, and trades higher, you cut that trade short. I mean, yeah, it was a winning trade is cool, but it's like you could have done better because you missed either looking at electronic or regular. So look at both. Today's after hours could be volatile with Nvidia earnings. Oh, that is possible. That definitely is possible. Nvidia is, I think, like the number one weighted stock in the Nasdaq and the S&P, I think, or very close to it. Yeah, you should double check that, but yeah. So far we discussed higher time frame concepts. We discussed a little bit on electronic and regular trading hours. We talked about the importance of like higher time frame concepts. We talked about some ideas on how to frame low risk, high reward setups, right? Right after manipulation, either down here or right after it. Those are really, really great opportunities because it's low risk, right? You're risking just that imbalance right there. You're risking like 15 points, 15 on the Nasdaq. You know what I mean? And again, that sell side's looking really juicy right now. You're risking, what do we say, 15 or 17, right? That's 86, and that run on the highs is like 90, right? 80, 90. So risking 15 to make 80, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, if you ask me. Oh, and that's right, Ozzy. I guess they bought Olanda, which is wild. But I think that was last year or the year before. I only have a time window between lunch and the PM after work. Well, Lucas, you're probably going to have to find assets to trade within like the window that you have. If it's not indices, then you may need to trade something else. Currencies, metals, you know, whatever. Wow. Adam asking the philosophical questions today. What are some things you had to change about yourself to get the results you have today? Ugh. Number one, the patience, or like the impatience rather, right? I had to work on patience. I had to fix my impatience, which it's not fun, man. It's not fun, holding a stock that is up, but it pulls back like a couple weeks in a row, and you're like, oh my God. You have to remind yourself, like, all right, bro, this is still green, like you're good, but it's not the end of the year. You got to give it some time. And yeah, impatience is it's hard, man. That's a big thing. I would also say ego as well. I don't even need to expand on that. You've seen trades I've taken, and trust me, if you were to do the same shit, you'd probably have an ego problem too. Especially when you're able to, I don't do this anymore, but like when you nail the low and then nail the high, like, bro, if you've never done it, you can't tell me shit. So don't even try. But when you get like really, really good entries and really, really good exits, like that shit can get to you, So those are probably the two biggest things I'd say: impatience and the ego. So it's not always easy. You think so, right? Oh, look at that. We actually made a slightly higher high before pulling back. So we got a pretty deep pullback on NQ, and a very soft pullback on ES. And barcode on Dow. Like, I could scan this. This is disgusting. Why do we even look at this bullshit? So it probably wouldn't surprise me if we take those lows here and then ES stays higher, so it just runs those lows and then like rallies. I could see that probably, but again, I don't know, man. I think the morning was awesome. I think it was great, and the PM session right now is uneventful and muddy, to be fair. I'm 23, just trying to make, take away some bad habits for the greater good. Well, Adam, I would say at 23, man, if I were you, bro, I would get heavily into reading. I would read, man. I got a book page. I share books all the time. I would get into, dude, I struggle with novels because it's hard for me to pick up on certain things, like foreshadowing and metaphors and all this shit. Like, that goes above and beyond, because like, especially with stuff like Animal Farm or old classics, it was written at a specific time about certain people, and because I didn't live in that time period, it's hard to get for me. And that's why I like stuff like 48 Laws of Power or like self-help books in today's world, because they're written a lot more, it's more like straight to the point, like John Maxwell, straight to the point. There's a couple stories and bullet points, but there's not a lot of fluff. It's right to what you need to know. I like that type of stuff. Novels are difficult, and to be frank, they're fucking boring. But yeah, I would get into reading a lot, because that's going to help you tremendously, especially when you get to your 30s. So NVIDIA earnings calls at 2 p.m. PST. That's the hour that the market is closed. Yeah, earnings are always either pre-market or aftermarket. So that is not a surprise. What other questions you guys got? Oh, shit. We got to go. Sorry, I keep forgetting. We got to go over these notes real quick, man. You guys keep letting me forget as we come up on the 1 o'clock macro. Yeah, I could see the macro taking us lower. We'll watch that. We'll watch that as I talk to you. We'll see if it does it or not. Okay. So I shared this with you guys the other day. I also shared it to my book page. I finished this a couple days ago. It's called The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition by Peter Hollins. See that? I put some tabs in there today. I didn't tab everything, but I tabbed a few ideas. So I wrote down some of the ideas, some key takeaways that I got from the book. Do you guys want to hear about them? Drop some twos in the chat if you guys want to hear some pretty good ideas from The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition by Peter Hollins. Drop some twos in the chat. And Lucas, performance is subjective. All that stuff to me is subjective. Well, I like currencies, I like metals, I like indices, whatever. Well, that's me. I do like indices. But it's all the same. They all have the same price action. They just move at different times. You know what I mean? And some are a little bit slower or whatever. But ultimately, it's all the same. So, okay. So I'm not going to give you all the highlights, but just a few, all right? So as a student should learn how to take notes, manage time, focus, and set priorities. Right? Those 4 things right there. And a student should become engaged with your subject. He talks about the 4 stages of learning. Most of you know this already. The unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. Number 2, conscious incompetence. You know what you don't know. Number 3, conscious competence. You know what you need to know, and now you can do it. And number 4, unconscious competence. You know what you know, and you can do it without having to think about it. Right? The 4 stages of learning. He talks briefly on sub-skills, right? Sub-skills are smaller skills that work together to form a large one, right? Think of like the successful traders trio, right? To be a successful trader, that's like one idea. It's, success. But it's broken down into 3 parts: money management, risk management, psychology, and then your actual trading strategy, right? So those are like the 3 main points. So sub skills would be below that probably. Like, well, what goes into a good strategy? Time, price, and context. Time, equities open. Time, macros, right? Price, levels of liquidity, context, trailing stops. You see what I'm saying? So sub skills. He talks briefly on the learning pyramid, which is not exact, but it's like a general idea that students retain 5% of what they learn in a lecture or a live stream, probably. But that I could see that because you guys don't do shit. You don't read or nothing. 20% retention from audio-visual sources, and hear this, 75% in practice and real-life experience. So that's good. Some general notes. You won't know everything. At some point, we must pause the intake of information and take action. You'll learn more from taking action than studying. That's a good one. Oh, just creeping towards that sell side, isn't it? Isn't it? Deliberate practice, which is like probably the title of the chapter or some shit. Start slow, learn slow, and don't let your impatience get the best of you. Let me see. Oh, there's your run to sell side right on time. Like a bus, baby. You see that shit? You see that shit? Right on fucking time. What time is that? 12:54. See that? Wow. Real hard. Real fucking hard. ES is catching up. ES is catching up, big dog. We got some lows down here too. So maybe that's not a reversal. All right. Anyway. Spaced repetition. 1 hour a day is better than 20 hours in one weekend. Frequency over duration or intensity. So his whole thing is it's better to learn an hour a day than it is to try and stuff 10 hours into a Saturday. Does that make sense? So, like, for example, if you work a job and you're only able to, I guess, study price action like one day out of the week, trying to go 10 hours in a day is not as beneficial as doing an hour per day. And he goes on to say that the brain needs time to make connections between concepts, create muscle memory, and generally become familiar with something. Rest and recovery are necessary. Seneca talks about that, right? The mind must be given time off. All right. He talks about surroundings, right? To not take negativity seriously. Negative people are frustrated with themselves about their own fears and inadequacies. It has nothing to do with you. And to find positive influences, avoid negative ones as much as possible. You should read at them. That's what I'm telling you. You don't have to read the books I recommend, but I mean, just read something. Start small. You know what I mean? 5-10 pages a day or something. Okay, last part is reasonable expectations. Don't learn everything at once. Learn the basics and don't assume that you can skip steps. Nobody is entitled to success. Expect the road to be difficult. And then I shared this in my post. Everything has a toll. Either you pay now by agreeing to sacrifice certain things, or you'll pay later by feeling miserable over what you failed to do. You have the time to sacrifice now, you won't later. So, I feel like that's pretty good. You know what I mean? Especially for beginner students. I feel like that's pretty solid. So, NQ takes the lows. ES didn't do that. That's interesting. So, if we end up leaving those open, then this may be a reversal to go higher. So, I don't know. I guess we'll know whenever the day pans out. But with that, y'all be good, be blessed. It's pretty much the end of the stream anyway. So hope you guys learned something. Drop a like on the stream if you did. Yeah, that's all I got. So be good, be blessed. I will see you, or I'll put out a market view tonight. It is Tuesday. I will see everybody here, same time, same place on Wednesday, tomorrow, the 27th. All right.
Sleep, so this life's always with me. The ice inside my veins will never bleed. Every time you try to fix me, I know you'll never find that missing piece. When you cry until you miss me, I'll lie and tell you that